the biggest bear. One evening, Toby was bouncing up and down on his bed. He looked at his shadow on the wall. It looked like a great big bear jumping up and down next to him. "I bet that's the biggest bear in the world," he said, and he carried on bouncing till his daddy came to tuck him in for bed. Next morning, Toby asked his daddy if the shadow bear was the biggest bear in the world. "Oh no," said Daddy, "there's a much bigger bear than that. Can we go and see him?" asked Toby. "You'll have to wait until later," said Daddy. "First, we have to go to the shop." At the shops, Toby saw a great big chocolate bear in the sweet shop window. "Is that the biggest bear in the world?" he asked. "Oh no," said Daddy, "there's a much bigger bear than that." "When can we see him?" asked Toby. "Later," said Daddy. "First, you have to go to play school." At play school, Toby painted a picture. He wanted to paint a really big bear, but the paper was too small. "It's still a very nice bear," said Daddy. When he picked Toby up, and you'll see the biggest bear in the world later on. Come on now, let's go to the park. At the park, Toby saw a huge bear made of stone. It was a fountain, and water poured out from his mouth. "Is that the biggest bear in the world?" Toby asked. "Oh no," said Daddy. "The biggest bear's much bigger than that." "Will we see him soon?" asked Toby. "Quite soon," said Daddy. "Let's go and get an ice cream." The other side of the park, they found a fun fair. "There he is," shouted Toby. "That must be the biggest bear." "Oh no," laughed Daddy. "He's big, but he's not the biggest bear in the world. He's so much bigger." Toby shook paws with the big bear, and they walked on. On the way home, Toby and his daddy stopped to look at an enormous balloon bear floating over the town. "There can't be a bigger bear than that," said Toby, but Daddy just grinned. Back at home, Daddy gave Toby his dinner. "Is there really a bigger bear than the balloon bear?" asked Toby. "Yes," said Daddy, "a much, much bigger one." "But where does he live if he is so big?" asked Toby. "I'll give you a clue," said Daddy. "He lives above our heads." "Can you guess where?" "Is he in the attic?" asked Toby. "Is he on the roof?" But Daddy Bear just shook his head. At last it was bedtime, and Toby still hadn't guessed where the biggest bear lived. "I don't believe there's a biggest bear," he said sadly, and he trudged upstairs to bed. A moment later, Daddy Bear came into Toby's room. "Don't be sad, Toby," he said. "You couldn't see the biggest bear during the day because he only comes out at night. Would you like to see him now? He's just outside." "Is he scary?" asked Toby. "No," said Daddy. "He's not scary at all." Daddy led Toby down the stairs and out into the garden. "Look up at the sky," he said. "Do you see those bright stars?" Toby gazed up into the darkness. "That group of stars is called the Great Bear," Daddy said. "Can you see his tail and his paws?" "Oh," said Toby, "he was right above our heads all the time." "That really is the biggest bear in the whole world."